is that first number. If it's positive, it opens up. If it's negative, it opens down. So we could go to that, and we know this is going to open up. If it opens up, it's going to look like that. We notice that it goes all the way up to infinity. So does that mean that we can find the maximum, which is up top, or the minimum, which is down below? Corn? Minimum, yeah. So anytime it opens up, we can find the minimum.
That's something that you can look at after it's graphed as well. If you could answer that, you could graph it and then answer that question and look at the graph.
That's a great idea. Yeah, we could even just graph it first and then go from there. Who remembers that formula for axis of symmetry? How do we find x? TJ, remember that? X equals,
Little fraction.
I'll start you out. Negative b over 2a. Good. That's on a Monday, you gotta jar that memory. So before I even write these down, I should have started over here. Josh, what's my A, what's my B, what's my C? Yeah. 2, negative 4, negative 2. So all we're going to do now is we're going to take our negative b, that's a negative 4 all over 2a. So we plug in. When we plug in, we use parentheses. Negative, negative 4 all over 2 times our a, which Josh told us was 2. Negative, negative gives you a positive 4. 2 times 2 gives you 4. Bill, what is 4 over 4? 1, good. So we know the axis of symmetry is x. Whoa, great. That's a new one. I kind of like it. Is x equals 1. Our vertex is going to be a point. We know that our x is 1, and we want to find our y. So we want to be able to find this value here. Jason, how do we find our y? Yeah. So can you tell me what to write down? Y equals 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 minus 2. Good. I guess I could have left myself a little bit more room there, but that's okay. We use technology to help us out. What is 1 squared? 1, right? So you get 2 times 1 times 4 times 1 minus 2. 2 times 1 is 2 minus 4 minus 2. I'm going to bring this over here. And I'm going to combine the first 2. So we get y equals negative 2 minus 2. And we get y equals negative 4. So we get negative 1, negative 4 as our vertex. Our y-intercept is super easy. You remember, it's only 0, comma, c. So what's my vertex here? Or sorry, y-intercept? Bill? Yeah, so the point would be 0, negative 2. So these are the only 3 pieces of information we need in order to draw a line. What type of line do I draw through the axis of symmetry? Dotted line, good. So we're going to x equals 1. And draw that dotted line through. Remember, if you're using Notability, you use the line function to find your dotted line there.
And that is new on the recent update.
Okay.
That wasn't there before.
All right.
The recent update that I just happened to, I guess.
Did anybody ever read those updates? Like, if you go on your phone, it says you have 38 updates. You go through some of them. Some of them are hilarious. Like some of the apps, they get comedians to write what the bug fixes are. On different apps. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if Notability has a sense of humor or not, but some of them are they're pretty good. So now we're going to go ahead and when we start by graphing our 2 points that are left. 1, -4. Go ahead and put a big dot on 1, -4. And then 0, -2. Go ahead and put a big dot on 0, -2. So once you draw your line axis of symmetry, you put dots on the other 2 points that we found. And then the last one is we find a reflection point. To find a reflection point, you just mirror the dot on the left of the line. So dot's on the left. It's only 1 space over. We mirror it on the right-hand side. We have our 3 points. Jason, we're drawing a U, a V, an X. Where are we drawing through here? What shape? Or we're drawing a what? U? Oh, sorry. I'm having trouble hearing. We draw a U through, and it should look something like that. Questions on this? You look, the next couple are laid out exactly the same. Yep. Like number 5. Yeah, like number 5 is good. Yeah. First step, let's pick out our A, our B, our C. Anybody want to shout out? Anybody at home? Anya, what's her A, what's her B, what's her C?
-1/2, 2, and -3.
Good. And if you want, at this point, you can change that fraction into a decimal up here, which might be easier for you. So 1/2 is a decimal, is -0.5. If you want to do that up here, if you want to keep it -1/2, that's fine too. It might just be a little strategy to get that fraction out of the way. So we have -0.5 or -1/2, 2, and then -3. My writing keeps getting worse. Their line of symmetry. TJ gave us the formula before. We're going to follow it again. X equals -b all over 2 times A. TJ, what do I write down? Yeah, -2. Good. 2 times -0.5. All right. A negative times 2 is just -2 up top. Who knows what 2 times -0.5 is? Or 2 times -1/2? Bill, you got that? -1, right? Good. Negative and negative give you a positive. 2 divided by 1 is 2. That gives us our first piece of information. X equals 2. Once you find your X, you now find your Y. Once we find our y, it's going to give us a point. We need to find that y value. All right, let's plug in. Josh, tell me what to write down. Good. And if you want to put the 0.5 here, you could do that as well. 2 squared. Yeah. We square first. What's 2 squared gives us? Everybody? 4, good. You get -1/2 times 4 plus 2 times 2 minus 3. Now we multiply. -1/2 of 4 is? Good. 2 times 2 is? Minus 3. And now it's addition and subtraction that comes to us. We go left to right. -2 plus 4 is, or 4 minus 2 gives us 2. And then 2 minus 3. Michael, what do we get for our final answer here?
-1.
Yes, sir. -1. And then Michael, what's our vertex here going to be?
0, -3.
You got it.
Mr. King, actually,
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
just save that question for after the graphic. That's looking for, is it a max or a min?
Gotcha. Sorry. I got ahead of myself. The y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0, -3. Then asking if it's a vertex is max or min. We're going to do this part last. So let's take what we know so far. We have our 3 pieces of information. We have our x value of 2, our first point, which is 2, -1, and then our y-intercept, which is 0, -3. First step is you're going to graph your line of symmetry. So we go to 2. Try to get it to. There we go. Plot your points. 2, -1, and 0, -3. Tell me, what is my mirrored point, the x, y value? Yeah, 4, -3. And all you have to do is just count, mirror over. 2 here means 2 here. That's it. But yeah, good job. So is this going to open up or down? TJ? Down, good. So go ahead and draw your U. And that means that this point right here, Bill, is that going to be a max or a min? Yeah, it's a max because it's on top, right? So for part where it says vertex, we'd say that is a max. You don't have to draw that arrow there, but just showing that's the highest point. All right, I want to do one more down. If you go to the very bottom, you'll see that we have the product problems.
or F,
Yeah.
or even D. E looks a little different.
Let's do F because it will show to
Oh, yeah,
break
that
it
would
up.
be both. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Anything that's squared means that it's on there twice. So that means we could break this apart and write it twice. 3x minus 7y times 3x minus 7y. Questions on what we just did there? So if we look at number 6, what other problem do we have to do this first step to? Jason? A, B, C, D, E. Which one do we have to do that's first step to? E, yeah, because that's the only other one that has a squared. So now we're going to use FOIL to distribute through our 3x. In doing so, 3x times 3x gives you 9x squared. And this one's a little bit different than we looked at because we have two variables. We first multiply the numbers out front, the coefficients. 3 times -7 will give us a -21. And then x times y. Well, since x and y are different, you wouldn't have any of those squared. You just write -21 xy. Does that make sense there? Have they seen that yet? I don't think so.
I think in chapter 1 we did something like that.
Okay.
It was more like distributing 3x to a quantity that had a y in it.
So now we're going to distribute through to -7y. Bill, what do I get when I distribute through to -7y?
-21 xy.
Yeah.
Notice how he still wrote those alphabetically, even though the y is with 7 and the 3 is with the x. He still wrote them alphabetically. He didn't write yx.
No, definitely not. That'd be like saying CBA instead of ABC.
Exactly.
It would just be a little strange. Still mathematically correct, but strange. Go ahead.
Then you get a positive 49 y.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you get 49y squared. That's a good one. Just like the other ones we've been looking at, we look to what we can combine. Can you combine an x squared and a y squared? Yes or no? No. Can we combine an xy with an xy? Yeah, they're the same. So we can combine the middle one terms. So we're going to rewrite 9x squared. So and then we get -21 minus 21 more will give us a -42 xy. And then bring down your 49y squared. So that's all. For the rest of the period, you're going to have time to work through this independently. At home, if you have any questions, please ask. We'll go over absolutely any of these, but go through. Now's the time. We'll walk around the room, answer any questions you have. It's just a review. So please make sure you have this because we are having a quiz on Wednesday.
So you should have 4 more graphs to do, and then it looks like there's